Hello soldiers, and welcome back to yet another weapon guide. In today's video, we'll talk about a weapon I enjoyed playing with, the B36A4 assault rifle. This one was fun to level up and I actually quite liked it. We are going to discuss everything that matters, including raw power stats, information, tests, and of course builds and recommendations. So sit back, relax, and let's dive in. The B36 is one of the rifles that felt good right from the start. You don't need to do something special or change your playstyle to make it work. In fact, it's very close to L85, which I deep dived in last video, but this one feels better and is easier to adapt to. Let's start with raw power stats. It has 25 flat damage and a 720 rate of fire, which is in the middle of assault rifle weapon class. It has a common for ARs 30 bullet mag, a 250 ADS transfer speed, a standard headshot multiplier of 1.34, and an approximately 2.4 second reload time. So basically it has the same stats as the L85, but with an improved rate of fire and a way better reload time. And of course with such raw power stats, it's way easier to compete in close quarters and even at medium range. So what's the catch? The catch is bigger recoil. But the good thing is it's way more predictable and doesn't have that much horizontal recoil, which in turn makes it easy to control and hit your targets even at longer ranges. One more thing to notice, this weapon has incredibly good burst fire potential. Now for the damage profile. It has 3 damage zones with damage fall-off points at around 21 and 75 meters. To the body we deal 25, 20 and 16.7 damage in relative zones. It has a standard headshot, follow point and synthetic ammo multipliers of 1.34, 1.5 and 1.75. That means we need 4 to 6 shots to the body to kill our target. For a headshot, it casts needed shots to kill by 1. Follow points ammo makes it 4 STK past 21 meters, and synthetic ammo makes this weapon very stable, 3 shots needed to kill up to 75 meters. Talking about time to kill parameter for multiplayer, it takes 251 milliseconds in the first zone, which is on the medium side of all assault rifles. It makes the B36 a very balanced weapon, not only stat-wise, but in handling and feeding too. So basically we get a high recoil weapon with a good and easy to control pattern, not to mention it has access to synthetic ammo. Of course, as always, we should not forget that aiming for the heads is way harder, as the body hitbox is larger by approximately 13 times. Additionally, Battlefield 6 can be very fast-paced and explosive. Synthetic ammo choice is always limited by player's skill. If you can hit those heads consistently, of course, it's the best choice. If you want to lower your shots to kill needed and miss many bullets while trying to headshot due to the smaller hitbox area, this is directly opposite to why you did it in the first place. Better spend those points on quality of life attachments and simply aim for the body. It will be statistically and practically more effective. If you compare B36 to other assault rifles in the first range, it takes 5th place. But when we switch to the second zone, it takes 3rd place. And the reason for that is its good rate of fire with balanced damage drop-off. Let's quickly talk about REDsec. It takes 8 to 12 bullets to kill. On the TK side, it's important to mention that REDsec is more about stability than pure shots or time to kill. And the B36 is stable enough to be viable and a very good mid-range companion. As for stability, the B36's recoil is big, but it has an easy to control spray pattern with very decent bloom. A small remark here. We'll not test every attachment on every weapon anymore, as throughout all these tests it became too obvious that all attachments behave by the same rules. For example, if the folding vertical grip gives around 10% recoil reduction, it is 10% for every weapon. So we don't need to waste time, there'll be a link leading to this video in the description when it's ready. Anyway, here's the test to find the typical bloom area for this gun when aiming down sights, based on 1200 shots at a 20 meter range. The green area is where 98% of bullets are landing, and the red area is for the last 2%. And every full mag spray can have a pattern like this, and like this, but every pattern will be inside those green and red zones. We can clearly see here that even without any attachment the basic spray patterns are not wide, and the B36 doesn't have that annoying habit of going left and right. It is stable for the whole mag, not only the starting 10 bullets or so. The main direction of recoil movement for the green zone is 19 degrees to the right, and to control it, we need to move the mouse accordingly. But again, even if this angle is bigger than the L85 for example, it is still easy to control for a full mag. And if we use attachments for recoil reduction, we can shrink that area to this size. Now a test for hipfire without attachments at all, based on 1200 shots and a 10-meter range. The crosshair placement is a bit to the left, so it means you can control your hipfire with the same movement as you control ADS. Here are examples of a full 30 bullet mark fired. Again, every single pattern will be within the main tested area. With attachments we can shrink it to this area size, and what's interesting, it becomes very similar to the ADS area. Long story short, the B36 can be built for hipfire oriented builds. Let's quickly talk about the playstyle for this weapon. In my experience, this weapon can be played literally however you want. It can spray, it can burst, and it can be insanely accurate and at the same time very consistent. It can compete in close quarters due to a better rate of fire and being a 4-shot killer. Multiply it with movement skills and map awareness, and you'll have your kills. For defensive type of gameplay, it again can easily be used. In fact, its behavior is very complementary to such style, especially when using synthetic ammo. It's not a must for the weapon to work. It can shred with standard ammo too. Don't forget that it all depends on the situation and player skill. For slow pushing and second lane gameplay, again, it can easily do the job. And of course it can be played at longer ranges with burst fire. A very versatile gun suitable for every situation. A balanced one. Now we are moving on to the builds section. There are 3 main builds I found effective for myself, which are synthetic ammo, no recoil and balanced versions. And one more bonus build for hipfire lovers. The first build is the Headshotter. It's a synthetic ammo build that can be used in pretty much any scenario. For the sight, I prefer the mini flags, but take what you want. Next we need a flash hider, a heavy extended barrel, an alloy vertical grip, synthetic ammo, a 30 bullet fast mag and a 10-point green laser. In case you want a suppressor you can sacrifice the laser, but I won't really recommend it. With this build, the B36 becomes a headshot destroyer. I recommend using it in case you have at least 20% or more headshot rate, as you'll feel the most difference around this threshold. It can sound a bit dumb, but I believe the optimal range is 0 to 75 meters. For 0 to 10 meters we have enough hipfire accuracy with a green laser. For 10 to 40 meters range we have a very decent spray pattern, and the burst fire habit will make our life very easy at longer ranges. And do not forget, we are using synthetic ammo, so it's a 3-shot kill up to 75 meters. It can literally blow minds of your enemies. Seems too good to be true, yeah? Well, it has a downside. This build is limited by player's skill. The better you play, the more effective it will be. If you can't aim for the heads, there is zero need to use that. It won't make a big picture difference in case you are not hitting heads consistently enough. The second build is no recoil. For the side section, take what you want. Next we take a long suppressor, a heavy extended barrel and a low profile stubby. In case you want a bigger mag, you can switch the stubby for a classic vertical grip and take a 36 bullet mag. Talking about optimal range, it is around 15 to 75 meters. It will be way hard to compete at close ranges as we don't have any hipfire accuracy. A very simple build for slower paced and chill gameplay. It's not classic, but does the job and lowers the recoil well enough. Stable, consistent, but not that versatile. Suits a second lane, defensive and supportive playstyle best. This build doesn't catch the stars and requires the player to be patient and never overextend. Suggested algorithm: take cover, delete, move, repeat. Simple as the build itself. The third build is Balancer. It's a standard ammo build that takes the best of every aspect. Easy to use and effective. For the sight, take what you want. Next we need a standard suppressor, a heavy extended barrel, slim angle grip, a 30 bullet fast mag and a 20-point green laser. This build is a balanced and most versatile version of the B36. You can play at any range, you don't have to worry about minimap spotting and you don't have to aim for the heads, which makes it way easier to use. It's stable, it has a laser, it has a fast mag. It is a very effective build. And it suits every playstyle and can be used in any situation. Are you in close quarters right now on Siege of Cairo? Or located at mid-range on Mirak Valley? Or maybe even playing on Liberation Peak? It can do it all. Bonus build. The B36 can be built with hipfire orientation in mind, but I would not actually advise that. This weapon has so many pros for playing purely using ADS. Such hipfire accuracy is more of an additional benefit rather than something that we should build upon. But of course, if L85 can do it, the B56 will do it even better. For the sight, take what you want. Next we need a flash hider, a short barrel, 20-point green laser, synthetic ammo, and the 36 round magazine. In case you don't want to use synthetic ammo, you can switch it for a CQB suppressor with a lightweight ammo or something else, like slim angle grip. This build is purely oriented for close quarter battles and can be good at up to 36 meter ranges if shooting any ADS. At longer ranges, it's not that easy to control and is basically not suitable for it. In conclusion, this weapon is very balanced and really one of the most versatile in the game. It can be used however you want and suits any playstyle possible. I enjoyed leveling it up, it was very easy and fun. In fact, I didn't find anything that the B36 really lacks or has some critical flaw. It felt very nice from start till the end, and the best word that can describe this gun is balance. But of course, those are my thoughts, and I would like to hear what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. And as always, vote in those polls for the next weapon you want me to cover. If you liked the video, press that like and subscribe buttons for future content. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.